my book and wax friends. I am Amber. If you're new, welcome. Welcome back if you're returning. I'm so glad to have you here with me. Today's video is a bookish video. It is my most anticipated new releases for the month of April. It's been a couple months since I've done one of these videos, but I do have time, and there are a lot of good books that are releasing in April. So I thought I'd share some of the ones that are standouts for me. Of course, this is not every single book that will be releasing in April because of every month there's a ton. But these are the ones that were standouts for me and my interest in reading. So come along with me while I share those with you. The first book is called The Book Witch. This is by Meg Schaffer, or Schaefer, however you say her last name. And she is the one that wrote The Wishing Game, which was a 5-star read for me that I read a couple years ago. She had a book that came out last year too, but I can't remember what it was called. I didn't read that one. But this one for sure looks like something that is right up my alley. So the synopsis for this one is, she can hop into any novel. She just can't stay there. Come along with the Book Witch in this magical and inspiring love letter to reading from the author of The Wishing Game. Rainey March is a proud third-generation book witch, sworn to defend works of fiction from all foes, real and imaginary. With her magical umbrella and feline familiar, she jumps into and out of novels to fix malicious alterations and rogue heroes. Reminds me of Mary Poppins, which is my favorite Disney movie. I love that. Book witches live by a strict real people belong in the real world. Fictional characters belong in works of fiction. Do not eat, drink, or sleep inside a fictional world, lest you become part of the story. Falling in love with a fictional character, don't even think about it. Which is why Rainey has been forbidden from seeing the Duke of Chicago, the dashing British detective who stars in her favorite mystery series. If she's ever caught with him again, she'll be expelled from her book coven and forced to give up the magical gifts that are as much a part of her as her own name. But her beloved grandfather disappears and a priceless book is stolen. There's only one person she trusts to solve the case. So this sounds completely right up my alley. For sure, magical realism book about books, forbidden type of romance, cozy. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this one. I might have to pre-order this one just because it sounds amazing. Okay, after that, let's see. I didn't say when that one came out either, and that one comes out on, what is the date for that one? April 7th. Then after that is I think this is a contemporary romance. It's called The Paris Match, and it also comes out April 7th. And it is about, who did I say? No, it's from the author Kate Claiborne. I've never read anything from her, so we'll see. But look at this cover. It looks so cute. I am very drawn. I admit I judge books by covers. As you can see, I love beautiful books. So I do judge books by the cover, but I always read synopsises after the cover draws me in. So let's check out the synopsis together. Physician Layla Bailey has spent over a year telling herself she's moved on from a painful but amicable divorce from her college sweetheart. Staying friends with her ex seemed like a mature thing to do. But when Layla is invited to her former sister-in-law's destination wedding in Paris, where Layla once spent her own romantic honeymoon, she knows her commitment to maturity might be her worst enemy, especially since her ex isn't attending alone. The only thing that could make the week more difficult is getting through it without the distraction of the wedding. But when Layla thought but when what Layla thought was a harmless conversation about the choices of her younger self, I'm tripping over my words, I'm sorry, leads to the bride getting cold feet, Layla finds herself facing down the groom's mysterious, taciturn best man, Griffin, who will do anything to make sure this wedding happens. And since she broke it, Griff demands she help him fix it. So that seems like it'll be very, very cute. So yeah, contemporary romance, rom-com, fiction. So as long as it's on the cleaner side, I know that I will enjoy that one for sure. Okay, after that, we have a historical fiction, and this also comes out April 7th. A historical romance fiction, and I think this is a clean romance. It doesn't say. It says young adult, historical fiction, historical romance. So being YA, hopefully it is actually on the clean side. So this one is, did I even say the name? A Deal with a Debutante. This is by Chelsea Bobulski, I'm pretty sure is how you say it. You'll see right here what it is. Okay, she's running from London's marriage mart. He's running out of time to save his estate. Neither planned on falling in love, but their hearts had other plans. American heiress Calliope Hart is thrust into London's high society against her will because her mother is determined to marry her off to an aristocrat. Despite being named the debutante of the season back in New York, Calliope wants nothing more than to avoid becoming another pawn in a social game. Edward Chase, the Earl of Hayward, is on the brink of financial ruin. To save his estate, he must marry, and Calliope Hart is his last hope. When he boldly declares his intentions, she swiftly rejects him, making it clear she has no interest in marrying for convenience. Undeterred, Edward offers a deal. He'll escort Calliope to all the best sights of London that she's been dying to see if she agrees to visit his estate and consider what they could accomplish together. What begins as a business arrangement soon sparks something much more complicated, and an undeniable chemistry neither can ignore. So that sounds fun. So we have possibly marriage of convenience, a little bit of fake dating kind of, and yeah, that looks like it'll be fun for sure. Next after that is one that also comes out April 7th. There's a lot that I'm interested in that comes out that day. It's called The Escape Game, and it is by co-authors Marissa Meyer, who, if you're familiar with, wrote the Lunar Chronicles series, Cinder, and Tress. I can't remember the other ones, but all the ones that are kind of sci-fi reimaginings of fairy tales. And then the other author is Tamara Moss, who I'm not familiar with. But this is a thriller, which you know me, I'm not normally into thrillers, but this is a YA thriller. Horror, it says horror thriller, but it also says fantasy too. So I'm intrigued by this one for sure. Okay, so the synopsis is, let's see. It's all fun and games until someone ends up dead. 6 months ago, season 4 of The Escape Game ended in horror when contestant Alicia Angelos was found murdered on set. Now season 5 is underway, and new contestants are ready to put their skills to the test, solving the show's trickiest escape rooms. There's Addie, the cryptographer, Carter, the math whiz, Beck, the wannabe game master, and Sierra Angelos, the girl who got away with her sister's murder. Oh, do we know right away who the murderer is? That's interesting. Or so everyone believes. Okay, so that's the twist. But Sierra's not just here to win, she's here for justice. When the contestants begin uncovering clues that hint at the identity of Alicia's true killer, it becomes clear that the stakes aren't high in this competition. They're deadly. If these teens want to win and survive the game, they must solve the biggest mystery of who killed Alicia Angelos. So it does sound good, and I'm a fan of the Inheritance game series, a super fun series. And so it has a little bit of that, but with a more thriller type edge to it. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not a big thriller horror person, but it could be good. And I know it'll be on the tamer side because it is YA. All right, after that we have The Wicked Sea, and this is by Jordan Stephanie Gray. And it is the first in a series, a new series, so another series for me to start. I'm always starting new series, but I don't finish series. That's my issue, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm still into starting new series. This one says, let's see, Mermaid Zafira. So this could be a good one for summer, because I do like to read like oceany books during the summer. Mermaid Zafira of the Sill dreams of freedom. On the run from a dangerous captor and years of abuse, she's shed her tail and grown legs and hidden herself on land in the marrow-loathing kingdom of Morsha, left to steal and barter on the dirty streets. But her freedom is short-lived when she's caught and sentenced to death by a brutal warlock, Arian Stone. Arian is as beautiful as he is cold and deadly, only interested in punishing the marrow he views as evil. He has grown as strong as any warlock might, but at great personal cost, which can only be remedied by the heart of the god of death, lost to a fabled kingdom beneath the ocean's treacherous depths. So Arian offers Zafira a deal she can't refuse. Help him find the mystical heart and he'll spare her life. So that seems like it could be good. A little enemies to lovers action is what it feels like to me. Yeah, mermaids, forced proximity, enemies to lovers, fantasy romance. So looks good for sure. Okay, the next one, I think this is a cozy fantasy. And this one, yeah, cozy fantasy. It also comes out April 7th. So far, everything's come out April 7th. This is The Tricky Business of Fairy Bargains by Rena McCarty. And let's see, this is by the author of, I think this is a debut. Yeah, this is a debut. It's just another author blurbed this. When Poppy Hill was a child, she was stolen from her family's Montana homestead and taken other side to the land of the Fae, where she spent more than a century as a cook in the Wild King's castle. Now back in the human world, she works for a company that brokers fairy bargains, checking for loopholes in their contracts. But when a bargain that Poppy is negotiating goes disastrously wrong, she must return to the world she grew up in to try to rectify her mistakes, facing danger, intrigue, and a pesky ex-boyfriend along the way. So that seems like it will be fun. So it is fantasy, but more of an urban fantasy because it does also take place in the real world too. So that seems like it could be good. Like I said, cozy fantasy, I love for the most part cozy fantasy, but some of them can be hit or miss depending on how much in the way of stakes there are. This one still feels like it will have some stakes, so it seems like it'll be good. Okay, the next one comes out April 7th, and this is To Steal a Throne, and it is by Gabby Burton. And it is a YA fantasy romance, and it says it's perfect for fans of Divine Rivals, which I did really enjoy that duology. Let's see. Her magic feeds on lies. His magic could destroy her. Mira Kyler runs the court of Verde from the shadows. Ever since she helped her half-brother Luke cheat his way into the role of Verde's leader, she's used her lie-powered magic to collect secrets from members of the court, then used them as blackmail to keep her brother in power. But when newcomer Kydron Vale shows up and challenges Luke's leadership, he threatens the stability Mira has worked so hard for. Kydron also has magic that can detect the precious nature of someone else's power with a single touch. If Kydron so much as brushes against her, everyone will discover that Mira is the one who's been manipulating the court for years. As Kydron and Luke compete in 3 deadly challenges called the Trials, Mira realizes that no matter who wins, she'll be stuck serving a mediocre man who doesn't deserve to be in charge. She's done hiding in the shadows. She wants power of her own. To get it, she'll have to betray both her own brother and Kydron. But the fiercer the competition gets, the more Mira realizes that the one boy who could destroy everything is the one boy she might not be able to resist. So that sounds good. That sounds like a lot of political intrigue, and I'm here for it, for sure. So that is To Steal a Throne. Okay, after that is a continuation of a series. I think this is only a duology, but I'm not absolutely positive. And it is the Thorn King, oh, not King, The Thorn Queen by Sasha Payton Smith. It is the second book in the Rose Bargain series. I did enjoy the Rose Bargain. Not an absolute favorite of mine, but I am getting I've pre-ordered a copy of the Fairy Loot edition because I did get the first book and I want the magic copy. So I will read the second book. But of course I can't talk about what this book is about, but the first book, The Rose Bargain, is kind of Regency, Bridgerton vibes, since most people are familiar with Bridgerton, meets kind of The Cruel Prince and The Selection is kind of what it is. So you have a queen who, instead of Queen Victoria, comes into power. She is Fae. And during the War of the Roses earlier back in England's history, she ends up coming into power. So she's been ruling since then. And everyone can make a bargain with her to get something that's more desirable. And for that year, that season, not only is that happening for the girls in the season who are members of the Ton, she has made a competition to win the hand of her Fae Prince son. So they would eventually become the queen after she's gone, I guess. So it was good. Like I said, I think I give it 3.5 stars. I know a lot more people really, really did enjoy it than I personally did. But I liked it enough to, as I said, get the other book, especially the Fairy Loot version, and read it eventually. So that is The Thorn Queen. After that is a middle grade, actually, and it is called Rialto. This is by Kate Milford, who is the author. I know she's written, what else has she written? She's also written, The Green Glass House. That's probably one of her more famous books. So this is the same author. And this is a mystery as well, middle grade. And it is a standalone. So the synopsis for this one is, Ivy and Dahlia Vicker know this summer's trip to visit friends in Rialto, Missouri is going to be different from their usual family vacations. 12-year-old Dahlia, an artist who lives with anxiety, is looking forward to something new. Rialto, after all, has its own abandoned theme park, but mystery-loving 14-year-old Ivy is struggling with how to be the right kind of big sister for Dahlia, and longs for the way things, especially vacations, were when they were younger. In Rialto, it quickly becomes clear that this vacation will also be different in totally unexpected ways. For one thing, the town stands in the middle of an improbable forest that, according to local legend, swallowed it overnight decades ago. Then there are Dahlia's even more improbable sightings of impossible creatures, a giraffe with antlers and a leopard with wings. And there's their new friend, Remy, whose family inherited the house they're staying in from an aunt who left bequests to local friends that Remy must personally distribute. When he enlists Ivy and Dahlia to help deliver these gifts, they find themselves drawn into a mystery going back to the time when Rialto Park was still open. And it begins to seem that if they are going to help Remy solve it, they will have to find a way to believe in magic. So that seems really good. Oh, and then this actually releases on April 14th. So we're getting away from April 7th. So this comes out April 14th. And look at this cover. I love this cover. It gives me all those whimsical vibes for sure. Okay, after that is The Heart of War. And this one is by Olivia Snow and is expected to be published on April 18th. And this is a historical fantasy or historical fiction. I don't know if it's fantasy or fiction, but it's historical. Either just historical fiction or historical fantasy. London, 1815. If love is war, then London's marriage mart is a battlefield. And Helena Weston is its most cunning general. As the diamond of the season, Helena has never struggled to collect suitors. But when her father's fortune collapses, she faces the unthinkable. Marriage not as a conquest, but as survival. Using I don't know how to say that, Sun Tzu's, maybe? I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. The Art of War, as her courtship playbook, Helena has only 2 months to secure a husband rich enough to save her family from destitution. She selects 3 candidates for her scheme, including Edmund Hawke, a handsome newcomer to London with a mysterious past and an insufferable tendency to jeopardize her carefully laid plans. So not fantasy. It definitely is just like a historical romance, but the cover of this one was another one that really drew me in, and that seems like it could be a fun romp for sure. Okay, after that is one, I think this is a romantic comedy, rom-com. Oh no, it's a cozy fantasy romantasy. Ah, that's why I was drawn to it. But look at the cover on this one too. This is another one that the cover, I was like, oh, it looks so cute. Okay, so this one is called Second Time's a Charm by Taylor Epperson. And it says, returning home after years away, Reese is going to have to avoid her assassin ex-boyfriend as she learns to care for the magical creatures now under her protection. 3 years ago, Reese McCarthan solved her problems the best way she could think, running as far as possible. Abandoned by her childhood sweetheart, she left her gossiping small town, heartbreak, and emotionally distant father in the past. Now she's happy, if not just a bit bored, running a magical flower shop with her best friend until she receives notice that she's inherited her father's sanctuary for magical creatures. Reese heads back to her cozy magical town of Honeybrook that unfortunately still hasn't gotten over that one teeny tiny fire incident when she was a teenager. What should have been a calm, quiet homecoming turns into chaos incarnate when Reese comes face to face with the reason she left in the first place, Lake and Augustus. her ex-boyfriend, who seems to have grown up to also be a part-time assassin. So that seems like it will be so fun. So cozy romantasy. Okay, the next one is also a cozy fantasy. It is called Thistle Marsh, and Thistle Marsh. It comes out April 21st, and is by Maria Corrigan. And this is, let's see, fairies disappeared over 100 years ago, as suddenly as slipping through a doorway. It was only the very foolish or the very determined who held out hope for their return. Welcome to Thistle Marsh, a ramshackle estate where an impoverished orphan and a beguiling fairy collide in an enchanting novel of love, revenge, and ruin. And it says, in the wake of World War I, the world is a decidedly unmagical place for Mouse Dunn. Interesting name. She once dreamed of becoming a fairy anthropologist. Okay, so giving me a little bit of Emily Wilde vibes. But with one telegram, her world shattered. At the Battle of the Somme, her cousin's body disappeared into the mud, and her brother was left with debilitating shell shock. It was time, she knew, to put aside childish dreams. When Mouse receives news that her uncle has left her the fairy-blessed Thistle Marsh Hall, a dilapidated manor in the English countryside, she must leave her brother's side and return to her childhood home to claim her birthright. But there is a catch. If her uncle's, if Mouse does not rehabilitate the crumbling house in 1 month's time, she will forfeit her inheritance and any hope of caring for her brother. So I think she does end up kind of having a fairy bargain, possibly. But I know this one looked really good, and I know it is a book box that's coming for me in April, so I am excited to get to this one. So a historical fiction, historical fantasy, cozy fantasy type of book. Okay, and then the next one I am very, very excited for because it is the third book in the Love's Academic series by India Holton. It is called The Antiquarian's Object of Desire. And they are interconnected standalones, but I do recommend starting from the beginning, which is, the first one is, I'll show you, The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. Loved it. So good. So fun. So these are historical romances with magical fantasy elements in them. And let's see what this one is about. So since they are standalones, I feel like I can read the synopsis. It's not really going to spoil anything for the other books. So this is when two history professors and best friends are forced to fake hate to protect their reputations, chaos ensues in the next rollicking historical fantasy rom-com from beloved author India Holton. Magical antique experts Amelie Tarrant and Caleb Sterling have been best friends forever, although lately each has begun secretly wishing for more than friendship. But when rumors about their relationship spread, they're forced to fake being enemies to protect their reputations and keep their jobs. The resulting arguments spark havoc across Oxford University, and when they cause an explosion while fighting over a magical antique, it's the final straw for their exasperated faculty head. He dispatches them to a job in Cumbria where even they can't get into trouble, which proves just how wrong one man can be. In a storm-bound old manor house, Amelie and Caleb face magical mayhem and rampaging ghosts that make the previous havoc look mild in comparison. That seems so fun. I'm excited for this one. Like I said, I really, really loved the first book. Second book I liked less than the first one, but I still did enjoy it. It was because there was a lot of miscommunication in that one. I'm not a super fan of that trope, especially when it's drawn out like it is in that one. But this one seems like it will be a blast for sure. So yeah, historical fantasy romance. So that's it, you guys. That is some of the books. And did I say when this one's come out? On the 21st. Those are a look at some of the books that I am very excited to pick up. There are more than that, but I've been talking for a while. But there's a look at some of them. So let me know down below what you're most interested in. If there are any books that you're excited about that are coming out in April, let me know down down in the comments. If you have nothing to say, why don't you leave a little like vase emoji for the antiquarian's object of desire, because antiques, you know, so leave a little vase down in the comments. I appreciate you all and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.